THEMOSHOW Chicago. Yeah, and we're in the burbs right now. West suburbs of the city. And I tell you, today is, as you can see, sort of what? An overcast. It's like 55 degrees. It's sort of peaceful where I'm at, the atmosphere right now. But I'm telling you, in the city is absolutely crazy. However, sometimes you need to be where the action is at, okay? But right now, we're in the west suburbs of the CITY. And if you know anybody that's out there that's homeless, make sure you check on them. If you got elderly people out there, make sure you check on them, like your grandmother or some elder in the neighborhood that help you grow a little bit. Make sure that you look out for them today. We're not promised tomorrow, so everyone that you love, make sure that you tell them today, okay? Because the city is once again on fire. On fire, not only with school closing gaps, teen curfew, and many more issues. But before we get started, I made a video yesterday about civil revolution. And people get scared when they hear the word revolution. Revolution just means change. A change. Don't we all need a change? Especially in today's society in which we are living in, or currently under the present administration. People out here are going insane, and I don't care what city and state you are from, people are losing it. And we'll get to possibly a reason why they are losing it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be one today. But anyway, the Chicago public school system is suffering a $529 million gap. A lot of teachers right now are struggling for their jobs. Don't know how they're going to pay for their mortgage. Don't know how they're going to pay for their car notes. Don't know how they are going to live. Chicago school teachers, in fact about it, it's just not Chicago. This is nationwide. Every state has a budget. Every state in their schooling system has a gap to fill. Now, with the present cuts that they are talking about making, they say that they can possibly fill $200 million of that gap. I just don't see how there's a gap anywhere, seeing that the U.S. prints money. I'm just saying. Isn't that the present current currency that we live off of in regards to exchanges for goods? Money, which they print every day. So how could there possibly be a deficit? I'm just saying. And all of these homeowners where there is a school by a school district, they are going to get hit regardless. It don't matter, and Brandonjohnson does not care. He's doing a very bad job as a mayor in the city of Chicago. And no, as I've always told you, he will not be reelected to the position out there. Hey, I want to thank everybody that's out there in the chat room. Yeah, because you could not or would not or did not choose to be somewhere else. You decided to stop by to see what we had to say. So we want to tip our hat to you. Okay? Yeah, it's a little chilly out here. Can't wear my other baseball caps or anything like that. Got to keep this bald head of mine pretty warm. Okay? And for those of you who don't have hair on your head, you know exactly what I mean. Okay? Hey, what's going on, people out there in the chat room? Shouts out to everybody that's out there. Brandonjohnson, schooling gap, teen curfew. Teen curfew here. They're trying to initiate a curfew on teens when they have these Chicago teen takeovers. I don't think this is going to happen. Do you know the ruckus that would be behind the Chicago police versus these teenagers in the city of Chicago? Teenagers that's strapped up, teenagers that don't see no way out, teenagers that are tired of living, teenagers that know that the authorities in Chicago is full of feces, especially when it comes to prejudice, racist police. That's going to be a not happening campaign, Brandonjohnson. You are going to enact an uproar. You're going to enact a policy that is detrimental for these homeless teenagers, not to mention radical teenagers who don't see no way out. And obviously, they don't mind going to jail. And that is sad. But every time I turn on the TV on WGN, CBS, ABC, NBC, or if I go on social media, I see a lot of crimes that are committed from a lot of different sections of people. Sorry about that tongue twister. Yeah. But most of the crimes that I see in America that they expose mainstream, hey, it's people who look like me and the stupidity that they do that gets them incarcerated. But you have other sections of the people. It's just not black people. I just am so hard on people who look like me because we are all that we have, but yet we are destroying each other at an alarming rate more than any nation of a people has ever done in history. I'm just saying, maybe with the exceptions of the Caucasians who causes all of these wars, okay? Got to keep that in mind now. I'm not going to blame it all on us, but we have a part that we have to be responsible for in regards to our own self-destruction, our own living capabilities, our own living sustenance. Because the government of America has already shown you that, you really don't even count. You really don't even count. I'm just going by the executive orders that was made by the current administration, okay? So I'm not saying that personally. I'm just going off facts. Facts and what is taking place. Now, there are those who argue with me or can't argue with me in regards to policies like fundings being cut from domestic violence victims. Okay? I somewhat can agree with that because you have to choose who you want to lay down with, who you get involved with, who you have children by, and all of that. They can be an El Loco or not an El Loco, but at some point, you should know if they would beat you to death or if they would bring you harm if you try to separate yourself from them. And it's just not black people. This is white people. This is Chinese people. I've done I don't know how many stories on domestic violence. Some people end up chopping their mates up when they want to break up. Some people stab them to death. Some people shoot them dead. Some people poison them. I'm just saying. So be careful out here in the city of Chicago and worldwide. Teen takeover. Getting back to that. How are you going to instill a curfew on teens when a lot of teens are homeless? That means that there are going to be probably a lot of detention arrests made. But however, in regards to the detention rates and arrests being made for juveniles, the age was moved from age 10 to age 12. Okay? So they can no longer, in the city of Chicago, the Chicago police can arrest a 10-year-old. You have to be 12 years old versus 10. They give you an extra 2 years to help you figure out where you want to go. But by the time you're 12 years old in the city of Chicago, you should have some sense of direction and what's right and what's wrong. I'm just saying. So they give you a play despite the fact that they have you under fire in all of these screwed up living conditions, poverty conditions, job restrictions, not for the 10 and 12-year-old, but for their parents, which makes it even harder on the children. I'm just saying. Curfew is going to be a big mistake. It's going to be a big mistake, Brandonjohnson. You've already made a lot of big mistakes, especially with the spot shot of cameras. Word on the street is, Brandonjohnson, by these young boys, you know, the young boys that be hanging on the block. Yeah, because I talk to a lot of them. And some of them are concerned about the spot shot of cameras that you've removed. And you are responsible for 40 bodies right now, Brandonjohnson, that police can't solve crimes to, or had an inkling or what they call it, a lead on a crime, whereas they could possibly solve it, but you took out those spot shot of cameras. Now just think, word on the street is, this is not from Mo, no, this is from all them young boys that's be on the corners, on the streets of Chicago. If their grandparents get shot up, if their grandfather gets shot up, if their aunt gets shot up, and these people are loved by these young boys with these big gym shoes, it just may be a big problem for you, Mayor Brandonjohnson. Now, granted, there's a lot of crime that's going on in the city of Chicago, and these young people out here don't care, but they care about their grandparents. They care about their grandparents. They care about those great aunts that raised them, that gave them values and morals, but even though they may not be using them at the time, however they possibly are, they just happen to be in the streets because that's how they have to survive. I'm just saying. Things are going to get crazy out here. Like I said, I made a video yesterday. Civil Revolution. Didn't get many views. No notifications went out on it. I wasn't starting anything that hasn't already been started centuries ago, okay? Centuries ago. I'm just saying. So people out here are concerned, just not about themselves, Mayor Brandonjohnson. When you get to messing with the lives of people's grandmothers, where you know that there's a lot of crime at, and you take those cameras out that can help the police solve a crime, you are helping being part of the problem and not the solution. Not to mention, like I said, that a lot of these young people out here in the streets are making the problems. But when it comes down to their grandmother and you're helping the politician, not them. Because according to the Chicago police subculture, it is a us versus them. And that's the way that these young people feel out here in these streets, Mayor Brandonjohnson. Because it's them versus you all. That's how they see it too. It's their life versus your rules versus your laws, which is causing them poverty, which is causing them to do crime because of poverty. Sometimes you can't blame the victim always. You have to blame the people that are actually making the laws and the rules that are making these people do the things that they do in order to live and survive in this country. That's not even up for argument, man. That's not up for argument. But for those of you who are well-to-do, and which the middle class is crunching, okay, you all are tasting the bite of what we've been tasting for centuries. So welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of violence. Welcome to the world of being broke. Welcome to the world of poverty. Welcome to the world of crime. But you have to remember that America was founded. The foundation of America was on crime. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So don't blame me. Blame those who make things happen. Blame those who are in charge of the lives of other people. I'm just saying. People who have other people's lives, a whole nation of a people in their hands with the stroke of a pen, as in the words of Kamala Harris. I'm just saying. The civil revolution may be, coming your way, your city, your town. Like I said, they didn't send out notifications on that. But that's okay today. They may not get no notifications on this, but I hope that they do. Because not only are we having these problems in the city of Chicago, I almost forgot the Chicago police. I almost forgot that. Did you know that the Chicago police not only are moving the age ranges up from ages 10 to 12, that the police can charge you with a gun crime before even seeing a lawyer? Y'all may want to think about that. If you are citizens of Chicago, you may want to look into that. The police cannot charge you without the district attorneys or the prosecutor in regards to a gun. Y'all may want to think about that. Okay, I think my battery is getting low, so I may need to get to it. But other issues that are going on or moving right along or moving forward, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., talking about fluoride and how he's asking the CDC to removing states and cities to remove fluoride from the water. Now, the state of Utah and the local government of Utah is doing that right now. Robert RFK, Jr. is saying that the more fluoride that we get, the more stupider we get. Do you agree to that? Whew. I have to agree, because after doing some research, fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. Yeah, and your pineal gland is your third eye. And once it's calcified, meaning it's stopped up so that you can't think, I would have to agree that it makes you dumber, makes you act stupider. I would have to agree with that. But you have the American Dental Association, you have the Academy of Science, you have the Academy of Engineering, the National Association of Academics and Engineering, along with the Dental Association. Had to get that right, okay? They crucified RFK Jr. to the cross in regards to his study. And you know what? They too will have to admit that it calcifies and toxifies your pineal gland, your third eye. Now, I know that there's other YouTubers out there who has already talked about this, but if you want to talk about your health and your mental capabilities, you may want to stop using fluoride. That's even in your toothpaste. I'm just saying, I don't use toothpaste. I don't know how many decades ago I stopped using toothpaste because of what I know about the fluoride. So I just use baking soda and peroxide. Even fluoride is found in mouthwash. I'm just saying, that's just not me pulling something out my backside. That is actual scientific facts. Don't argue with me. Argue with science. I'm just saying. Yes, that has been proven. So you don't have to say that it's not been medically proven, because it has. Just Google it or do some medical research and YouTube will find out that I am CORRECT. Not lying to you. Now it's up to you if you want to do that. RFK Jr. had recommended don't get those immunizations for the measles, but a lot of, not a lot, they had like 10 kids that had died, you know. But it's up to you. In fact about it, did you know that adding fluoride to the water is not even a law? It is not a law. They say that it helps prevent cavities and oral infections, especially stopping bad breath, okay? But I'm sure that there's other applicants that you can use to have a fresh breath, you know, fresh brush of your teeth. Sorry about the tongue twister. But like I say, I myself, I use baking soda that you scoop out, Arm and Hammer, that you scoop out with your toothbrush, and some peroxide. After that, you know, you got to get something to freshen your breath, or, you know, if you got Dragon Man blowing fire all day, you may need something else to help, you know, do away with the crucifixion of your breath. Because right now, they are trying to crucify RFK Jr., who is the director of the Department of Health and Human Services that was appointed by Donald Trump. If you don't know who that is, I'm just saying, okay? So you may want to think about that. And he is asking the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, to do what? To remove that from your drinking water, which could help prevent cavities and oral infections. However, if you don't eat raw meat, there's a great possibility that you may not have no oral infections. For those out there who like to carpet munch, I'm just saying, that may be a detriment to you, okay? Hey, having fun out here on this LIVE. And by the way, check up or research a lot of stuff that I be telling you. A lot of things that I be telling you is true. And all of you content creators that's out there, for those of you who are viewing content creators and their numbers are just a little bit low on 1 video, 2 videos, go check out those videos. Those videos may have some pertinent information for you. Just because they have low numbers don't mean that important information is not available to you in those videos. I'm just saying. Anybody out there know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now just think, without all of the candy that you give your children, or that children end up eating along the day, would you have more cavities or less cavities without all of the candies that they give you? Not to mention the red dye, yellow dye, blue dye. Yeah. That kills you too. That causes cancer. In fact about it, from fluoride to food coloring, the food dye coloring, which they just banned a week ago, other countries have done a whole long time ago, because those food dye colorings causes you to have cancer, carcinogens in your body. Yeah. Red 40, blue 5, yellow 3, yellow 6. I'm just saying, all of those fruity cereal that you be eating. In fact about it, it's not only the yellow dye that's in there, it's petroleum that's in there. Petroleum, which they use to run vehicles, lawnmowers, motorcycles, airplanes, and your cereal in the red dye. No wonder we're dying of cancer. And we're buying it. We're buying death. We are buying death. When you go in the grocery store right now, I would recommend that you think about what you get. This is why you have some states like Idaho who just made it a law. If you're receiving food stamps in Idaho, you can't get candy and junk food on your food stamps. People say, oh, that's crazy, but they may be saving your life or the life of your children and some medical bills if you look at it. I'm just saying. Y'all think about that. I'm not going to keep you long because that's my time for today. But however, I did drop some information off to you that could possibly help you in your growth and development and choices in life, even if it's a small one that can help benefit you and to live a little bit longer, okay? And if you haven't checked out my other channel, MOPOWERZ, here on YOUTUBE, if you're into traveling, if you're into audiobook series, go over to that channel where you will find the likes of the black man and his family, the black man of the Nile and his family, the fall of America, which is coming soon. As we can blatantly see, according to the present administration, the message to the black men of America, the destruction of black civilization, as a man thinketh, from alchemy to Wicca, the chronological order, that is. The demonology of King James, from Babylon to Timbuktu, and more. And yes, we will be getting back on the audio series. Yes, we will. We will be getting back on the audio series tomorrow. I will be reading tonight for the new audio series on MOPOWERZ. But we got that smoke here on this channel, THEMOSHOW Chicago. We got more coming up for you tonight on this channel. And for those of you who have tuned in to those videos, stay tuned because we got much more coming up. And if you are into hip-hop, R&B, spoken word, go over to my other channel, Chicago Independent Movies, Rap, Hip-Hop, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE, where you will find the likes of Diane Corder, Dion Cole, Reggie Reg, Quintella, Shari, Durrell Banks, Snoop, and a whole lot of others, including some musicians. Not musicians, but magicians. Like Top Hat and I call him Magic Man. I forget his name. But we got two magicians on that channel as well. Chicago, as we did at the Red Pepper Lounge at Diane Corder's birthday. Southside, 87th Street, Chicago. And if you're into hip-hop, gangster rap, and all of that stuff, Chicago Style, Psychodrama, Crucial Conflict, Twister, Shauna, Slugs, Loyal, Official Business, Cadillac Seville, Black Money, Mecca, Big Taz, The Nomads, Mano. We got a whole bunch of stuff over there for you, so get over there if that is what you're into. And we got Chicago Street Clips, Chicago Independent Movies. We got Chicago Spoken Word on that channel. We're creative from 16th and Pulaski, Quincy Central, One Man and a Mic, Steel Black Sea, Orion, Malak, and a whole bunch of others. So get yourself over to that channel. THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. And on your way out the door, for all three channels, I want you to do me a favor. If you want to support this channel, hit the subscribe button on all three channels. Hit the notification bell and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when I upload videos on YOUTUBE on either one of those channels. And make sure that you hit the condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation on what's happening in the world. To be aware is to be alive. It's your host with the most, Mo. We thank you all. I tip my hat to you. And as I always say, By all means, never give up on your DREAMS. That's my time, you all. Peace out. See you later on tonight.